could have made $100,000 on January 6, 2021 by allowing the organizers of that event in DC to use our platform to get bus trips going. We chose not to. Now, this is not a political post. I'm talking to my fellow founders and CEOs, especially those who run platforms, because I know we speak a lot about the freedom of speech, and I am in the business of the freedom of assembly, but that doesn't mean that we have to allow anyone on our platform. Now, don't get me wrong, there's been plenty of people that have organized trips on Rally that were for events that I didn't care for causes that I didn't personally politically align with. That's not what I'm talking about here. We chose a long time ago to draw lines, to create policies. And the policy we created was that we would not support and allow our platform to be used for things that were related to hate and violence. And say what you will, but I think the writing was on the wall for that much. Now, whether you call it an insurrection or not, I don't really care. I have my own personal opinions, but after the elections of that year prior, I was watching the heat and the rhetoric around this election just get louder and louder. Calls for anarchy were there if you were paying attention. And as a CEO, especially in the business of moving people and often to political events, when we're talking about political movements, it's often something that has a lot of energy and is often reactionary. The people that are organizing are often the contrarians. They're the ones that are trying to cause change, and that can sometimes mean anger. So don't be wrong. Again, this is not about supporting one cause or another or being one side of the political spectrum over another. I know where I lie on many causes. But early on, we have to decide as a company if the founder's personal policies or opinions were going to be how we're going to run our platform. I think you see it on other platforms, especially the short form blogging that you see out there, very recently bought by a very egocentric person that I don't even care to name. He's out there running that platform from a place of freedom of speech, yet personally making decisions on what speech is tolerated and not. So I think it's very hypocritical when ultimately it's the policies of one individual who is making the decisions on whether or not something can be said on their platform. Now, I was tried early on to not be that person, to not create subjective criteria that we'd have to come back on and argue about every time there was an event that maybe we didn't care for or somebody on the team didn't care for. So we made it clearly. We wrote down our policies. We created moderation policies that said who and why and when someone can use our platform to exercise their First Amendment right to assemble. Because while we talk about freedom of speech and freedom of press a lot, we forget in the First Amendment that there's a right to assemble. And Rally is a platform that supports that right. So I love thinking about it that way, that we are a part of that conversation with the platforms. And January 6th was the ultimate test of that. And I think we as a company passed that. So we didn't get involved in something that ultimately had a large chance of going wrong. If it didn't, we missed out on money. I'm okay with that because we chose to follow our policies. So I'd encourage any other entrepreneurs, any other CEOs, especially in the platform business, to get your thoughts down, have those board meetings, have the leadership meetings to talk about what your criteria are, write them down so that you're not arguing in the heat of the moment when the time comes. Rather, you can refer back to your policies that you made in a more sober place so that you know you're doing the right thing, that you're running by your values when it comes to making a decision about users. You know, at the end of the day, these are humans, people that are on our platform expressing their opinions, and we have to have lines. That's my message for you today. I hope you agree with this. I know this can be controversial. I can't help but think this might get a little bit political, but, you know, let's have the conversation. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from people that maybe supported that event or were even at the event, and tell me what you think. Was I right or wrong to not allow rally to be used on that day? Were you canceled on? Let me know.